this court, counsel. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the Smiths and the Landavazos have every right to be angry, but yet they have grace. I couldn't do it. They amaze me. Every day they amaze me. I asked the Smiths to trust me with their daughter, and they did. And you got to hear from Michaela. I asked the Landavazos to trust me with the memory of their daughter, and they did. What I'm going to ask you to do before I begin, my actual closing is to talk about the charge, which you've been given. I ask that you look on page 3. The maximum in this case that you can give a defendant is life in prison. And although you can't consider the parole laws, I will tell you on paragraph 3, it tells you that even if a person gets a life sentence, they're eligible for actual time served equaling 30 years, because life in Texas is based upon a 60-year life. So even if you give a life sentence, a person can serve day for day for 30 years before they're eligible for a parole hearing. Doesn't mean they're going to get it. Okay? Page 4, again, the instruction is don't let bias, prejudice, sympathy, or resentment, or any emotion play in any part of your deliberations. Remember again, like I said yesterday, the demeanor, the pain, the emotion, Shamika Smith and Vern Landavazo, you are absolutely allowed to take into account, and I ask that you do, with the agony and the pain that those two families have had to endure. You're going to get to your verdict forms. And the first one, I know that evil man sitting over there was only 20 years at the time, now 22, seems young. Think of the devastation that he caused those two families. It will carry on beyond their lives. That first verdict form is for life. And that's what I'll be asking you for, is a life sentence. And then it has a blank spot for a fine. You can do up to $10,000 if you want to send a message. If not, I don't care about the fine. What I care about is the incarceration of putting evil behind bars for the rest of his life. The next verdict form is if you decide to do a number of years. In Texas, the maximum sentence is life, but in Texas it'll say 99 years or life. But I submit to you, life is the maximum. But if you choose a number of years, that's where you put the number in and the fine there, up to $10,000. Verdict form 3, which is quite frankly an insult. That's where you could get probation on the aggravated assault charge. And then verdict form, the last verdict form, number 4. Michaela Smith still has a bullet in her chest. I submit to you that alone is worth 20 years, the maximum sentence given on an aggravated assault, and I ask you for the 20 years. A lot of times juries ask if it's going to be consecutive, can it be stacked, or does it run at the same time? And that's not a jury's decision, that's up to the judge. In most situations in Texas, the sentences run concurrently or at the same time. Lauren and Michaela, how I started this was two 13-year-olds walking home from school just like any other day. Two friends talking about what little old 13-year-olds do. He ended one life with that 13-year-old little girl who had a dad and a mom and brothers. Then he forever changed the life of the other little girl who was 13, who has a mom and a dad, and brothers and sisters, family. All for what? Acts done and words spoken. So what I'd like to do with you all today is let's look at some of his words. God worked for that girl today because had put the gun up right before they caught me, and I was on my way to get a sack of weed and forget about this ordeal is what he calls it, ordeal. If they wouldn't have pulled me over, I don't know if they would have ever got me. He certainly wasn't going to have some tinge of remorse and confess. Thank God she called 911, as I told you in my last closing. If he ever gets out of jail, he's telling you what he's going to do. He's telling you the future, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Like it would happen again, you know? Like it would happen again. He's telling you he won't stop. He's telling you he'll do it again. And that was 2 days after what he did. 2 days. And he's still not remorseful. When being interviewed by Detective Killingsworth, he responded, I said, man, what if I wanted to go into a fucking mall? These are the times we live in. This is the evil that surrounds us. And we have evil sitting right over there at counsel table, looking straight ahead, won't look at me, will he? He's proud of what he did, why won't he look at me? And unleash this anger I had. I thought to myself, I might as well kill someone who is going to be worth it. If I have to spend the rest of my life in prison, who is it going to be for? He's telling you what he should get, what type of sentence he should get. He's telling you he knew he was going to have to spend the rest of his life in prison because he was going to do it no matter what. Whether it was Lauren, whether it was Michaela, he was going to do it. Who's it going to be for? I have to sacrifice someone of good quality for the sacrifice. Good quality. I submit to you, that's a quality family right over there. Didn't deserve it. No one deserved what he did that day. I just meant I want them to announce it as like it's assassination. And then he laughs. The audacity to laugh. After he's done this. I mean, this is 2 days later. He thinks it's funny. It's on this assassination thing. This senseless act of violence, I said, how is it senseless? There was nothing but sense put into it. I said that it's a sophisticated assassination. Said it 3 times, here we go again. In the same statement. Like I was going to do it like an assassination. Is what it pissed me off when Daryl Franklin said this senseless act of violence. I said, dude, this was a sophisticated fucking assassination. He wanted everybody to know what his intention was 2 days later. Right before I got up there with the gun, when I saw her walking, this is how I should put it. I thought she was gorgeous and everything. When I saw her walk with the black girls, I guess it just, how my mind played, I said, fuck this bitch. Like I didn't see no worth in her. No worth in her. Her parents saw worth in her. The Smiths saw worth in her. Michaela saw worth in her. But that evil man sitting right over there, looking at the screen, didn't see worth in her. He's a cold, callous, calculated killer. That's what it comes down to. He told you what he would have done. Had he had more bullets, we'd have 2 deceased 13-year-old little girls who were walking home on a sunny September afternoon. He didn't want to witness. Brave little girl right there. But she's forever changed. Her family's forever changed. He likes to quote Albert Einstein, so here we go. This is why I implore you to do what's right and what's just. The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, and I submit to you he has, and will continue. He'll never stop, because he is evil. But because of those who look and do nothing. It's in your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the news, and you see the feeds, and you see people complaining about this defendant didn't get this, or that defendant didn't get enough. It's in your hands. It's your duty, it's your obligation to do what's just and what's right. And only you can do it. Acts done and words spoken. I submit to you that's the only choice in this situation. Can you think of a situation where it's any worse? A stranger, 2 little girls walking home from school, families. You see the families, they're good people. Good people. And I submit to you, don't ask what he deserves. He had his day in court. He had it yesterday. He had it for almost 2 weeks. Ask yourself what they deserve. What do the families deserve? The land of Ozos. Are they going to get to see a cap and gown on their little daughter? Did they get to go to freshman orientation with her? No. Is Vern going to get to, is Bianca going to get to plan a wedding of a beautiful daughter? Is Vern going to get to walk his daughter down the aisle? Is there going to be a first job? Is there going to be a first apartment where you help them move in? You complain the whole time. I know I certainly did with my daughter, you know. But they're not going to have that. Oh, they're going to have birthdays, and they're going to have Christmases, and they're going to have Mother's Day and Father's Day. They won't have any more first. That's over. Every time someone discusses less than life in that jury room, I beg you and I implore you to play this.